Good day, LinkedIn colleagues. This is John Herrera, president of MuniTemps, Municipal Staffing Solutions. I'm here today with the City Speak article on the topic of keep your promises, specifically your promise to repay your student loan from college. I graduated from San Diego State University, there's a diploma, over 30 years ago. And I came out of San Diego State with about $25,000 in student debt. In today's dollars, that's the equivalent of $55,000 in student loan debt. I have a question for you. For those of you that are thinking about this subject, about student loans and repayment of student loans, back then, 30-something years ago, do you think it was anywhere in my imagination that somebody else would be paying my student loan? Do you think that there was an option that in my mind, there was any option that somebody would forgive my loan? I guess if I would have gone into teaching or to accomplish some kind of social objective, there might have been that thought, but I didn't want to be a teacher. I was going to major in business. I'm a finance major. I'm going to serve organizations as a financial analyst and eventually as a CFO, a finance director. No, the answer is no. There was no thought in my mind that if I signed for those $25,000 of student loans, that I would have to pay them back. I made a promise to pay, and therefore, there was no option. When I graduated college and I went into the workforce right after graduating college, I started working for the city of Hemet. My salary as an analyst was $2,500 a month. That was a good salary back then. It's like the equivalent today of $4,500 a month. Okay, so it's a decent salary. But I got married, I had kids. It was hard making the student loan payments. As a matter of fact, I was making double payments or triple payments because I wanted to get out of those student loans as quickly as I could. My wife, my children, and I, we had to go without. We couldn't go to Disneyland if we had to make our loan payment. We couldn't go out to eat. We bought our house. We did buy a house, but it was a very modest house, a very small house. At that time, it cost me $81,000 there in Hemet, California. We bought our clothes at Goodwill. We had to keep our budget low so that we could afford our student loan payments that we had to make, that I had to make. And the point is that if you sign a promissory note, a promise to pay, you have to pay it back. Where did the thinking in our culture change where if you run into trouble, some hard times, that you can say, well, somebody help me. It's okay, you can ask for help, but you don't expect it. You ask for it, but you don't expect it. So I have to ask you, what would you think of me as a college graduate if I was to say, oh, I didn't know that there was going to be so much hardships in making this loan payment. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. The university was too expensive. You would think that I'm pretty stupid, right? Because you go to college to become knowledgeable, smarter, right? I knew exactly what I was doing when I was signing those promissory notes. I was getting that money so that I would have a little bit more flexibility in going to college. As a matter of fact, some of that money was used to enjoy not having to work as much to get through the heavy work course loads that I had. So of course I have to pay it back to the bank. And it's not just to the bank, it's to my community. Our society depends upon our institutions, banks, right? Schools, even marriages are part of the institution. We have to keep our promises, our vows, or otherwise our society is going to fall apart. That's my opinion anyways, and that's the way I was raised by my father. He said, you pay what you vow, you pay what we promise to pay back, keep your vows. And again, I know it's hard. I'm a man, just like a lot of you guys out there. And I'm talking to men for a moment here. I know it's hard to keep your promise. I mean, think about being married. I've been married for almost 35 years. It's hard. It's hard being married for that many years. You have to sacrifice a lot to keep your promise to that person that you married. So when I got married, I made a vow. I made a promise before God and before all my friends who were there when I got married that I would keep my vows. I would keep my promises to this woman. And to this day, I've been able to do it. It's not easy, but you need to keep your promises. So if we break our promises in student loans, where else are we willing to break our promises? Are there only certain promises that you should keep? For those of you, you women that are looking for a husband, right? If he doesn't pay his student loans, if he breaks his promises to the bank to pay his student loans, maybe he'll break his promise to you in marriage. Well, kind of joking a little bit here, but we see what's happening in our society today. People break promises without thinking about it. And it's hard to pay for things when you're having financial troubles, when you're having emotional troubles, when you're having any kind of troubles. But we have to work hard through that and keep our promises. Everybody wins when we keep our promises. We win when we keep our promises. Your dignity, your pride as an individual, you can hold your head up high that you kept your promises. If Uncle Sam was to send us money, I've been hearing about the talk of anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000 loan forgiveness. I'm not going to criticize that. Okay, that's politics. But I will tell you, those of you that have student loans, whether Uncle Sam sends money to you for whatever unknown reason they want to give you free money, but if they want to send you money to pay off your student loan, that's great. But regardless, you need to keep paying your loan payments. And as we did, those of us that got loans, school loans over the years. And if we have a windfall and you get free money for that, great. I don't know what social objective it's accomplishing, but take it. Remember, though, that the universe rewards promise keepers. People who keep their promise on the student loan, in a marriage, in promise to appear in court if you get a ticket, whatever it is. And I just see that as leaders in organizations, whether it be in business or in government, we need to keep our promises. It's been hard. It's been hard to see all of the deterioration in our institutions that keep our society together. People have excuses. We can make an excuse for why we don't want to honor this promise or that promise. But if that happens enough times where we break our promises, whether it's for a loan or any other promissory note that we sign in good times, that because it gets hard, we're going to break those promises. We're hurting our community, we're hurting our society, and we're hurting our organization. So as one that has had to deal with hardships during life. I'm 59 years old and I've dealt through a lot of hardships. And I can tell you that there were times when several times, I thought about ending my marriage because it was too hard. There's so many difficulties, but that wasn't an option. Just going for the new hot model, or going for one who's not being abusive, or going for, not paying your student loan because you're having a financial hardship. There are solutions. There's always a solution on how to keep your promise, even if it means that you have to work with other people to be creative to keep that promise. There is debt counseling so that you can make your debt payments. There is marriage counseling to keep your marriage. There is all kinds of resources that we have available for us in the United States if we're willing to look for it so that we can keep our promises. So today, forgive me if I sound preachy, but I'm just sharing it. I would be doing the same thing in the organization that I would be working in today, and that is keep your promise, whatever it is, and especially keep your student loan promises to pay, and we'll all be better off. This is John Herrera with Muni Temps and the City Speak blog saying hello and thank you for letting me spend some time with you today. Have a great day. Bye-bye.